Since biblical times, there have always been the rich, kings, queens, aristocrats, and then there were the poor and the working poor. For centuries, this was the structure of civilization, the elite few at the top and the struggling masses below. But then, something American happened, something revolutionary. In 1935, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the Wagner Act. For the first time in world history, labor was granted a legal, protected right to organize into unions. Not just tolerated, defended by the government. And from that moment, the American middle class was born. At the turn of the 20th century, less than 5% of Americans were considered middle class. The rest, the working poor or the poor. But with the Wagner Act empowering labor and public education expanding beyond the elite, the middle class grew. By the late 1970s, nearly 50% of Americans were part of the middle class. Union membership soared to nearly 40% of the workforce. The dream was alive, built by labor, protected by policy, and shared by millions. Then came the return of the empire. The 1980s brought Reagan's trickle-down economics, tax cuts for the wealthy, deregulation, and the rise of the modern billionaire class. They told us the wealth would trickle down. It didn't. Anti-union laws followed. Right to work, which really means the right to work for poor wages. And then came the war on public education. Privatization, charter schemes, and school vouchers draining resources from our public schools. Today, the middle class is shrinking. Union membership is in decline, and billionaires are rising, eager to bring back the good old days, before labor had rights, before public schools were for everyone. But here's the truth they hope we forget. Work boots built America. And if we want to rebuild the middle class, it starts by standing up for labor, defending public education, and remembering who really built this country. Rebuild the middle class. Stand with workers. Work boots built America.